Hey spooky bitches, my name is Michaela and welcome to or back to my YouTube channel, and today's video is going to be a little different than the previous ones because one, we're not talking about anything spooky today, and two, it's going to be kind of a mix of like a sit down talking video and then like a vlog, kinda, sorta. I don't know, we'll see what it is when I edit it. So today we are going to be talking about Sedona, Arizona, and more specifically about how it is kind of like a spiritual capital of the US, or at least of Arizona. I don't know about the whole United States, but growing up in Arizona, Sedona has always been known as like just being a very super spiritual place, and when I was younger I really didn't know what that meant. I thought it was some kind of like spooky witch shit, honestly, so I never really gave a second thought to it. But now that I'm older, I actually have learned more about spirituality and I'm actually getting more into spirituality, so I know that it's not some spooky witch shit now. Sedona is a very popular spot for people to go on spiritual retreats. In fact, 3 million tourists a year come to Sedona, which is a town of just 10,000 people, in search for spiritual healing. Now you may be wondering, Michaela, what makes Sedona so fucking special? Like, why is Sedona so spiritual? Like, what's going on here? So not only is Sedona just filled with this beautiful red rock, which isn't found anywhere else in Arizona, and the red rock is said to just hold that spiritual energy, but Sedona is also home to a number of spiritual vortexes. Some people believe that these vortexes were created not by like wind or water like a normal vortex would, but they're created by spiritual energy. And the vortexes are believed to be locations where the energy is right to facilitate prayer, meditation, or just heal yourself. Some locals say that Sedona became so spiritual because of the local Native American tribes, which date back as far as 10,000 years, but Sedona didn't become the New Age capital that it is until the 1980s, when a US psychic named Paige Bryant identified the vortexes after a vision. In 1987, Sedona was host to one of the largest branches of the harmonic convergence, which is pretty much just a big synchronized meditation, and 5,000 people came to get in touch with the universe at Bell Rock Butte, which is believed to be one of the many vortexes in Sedona. And let me tell you, Sedona really runs off this whole spiritual thing. They do not try to hide that shit at all. In the town of Sedona, you can find strip malls full of crystal shops, aura reading stations, and psychics. I can't even count the amount of different tours that they have that'll take you to the vortexes or just spiritual spots. I haven't really been in Sedona 2 times in my life. One was just driving through and the other I was only there for a couple hours. I really wanted to go and spend time there, especially now that I've gotten more into spirituality. I just wanted to like spend time in the city, go to the different stores, and I also wanted to go to one of the vortexes. So Sedona is only about a 30 to 40 minute drive from Jerome, so after our little ghost hunting excursion there, we drove down to Sedona and spent the night there. The very first thing we did when we got to Sedona was go straight to one of the vortexes because we wanted to get there before it started to get dark out. We decided to go to the Airport Mesa vortex since it was only about 10 minutes from our hotel. At this vortex, when you drive up the road, there's a very small parking lot right below where the vortex is, and of course that parking lot was completely full, so we had to drive up the mountain to the bigger parking lot that's next to the airport, and from that parking lot it was only about a half-a-mile hike, which wouldn't have been an issue. It probably would have been like a nice little hike if it wasn't for the fact that it had just snowed a few days prior and all that snow had just melted. So the whole entire half-mile hike was completely muddy, and when I say muddy, I mean muddy, bitch.
Wow, what the fuck? Is this from the snow melting? Yeah.
Oh god. Oh god. I wore my white Converse, not even like thinking anything of it. And thank God those were old and I was planning on getting new ones anyway because I just threw them out afterwards. I didn't even try to clean them. Those were just a lost cause. And not only was it muddy, it was slippery. There was ice in some parts. We were trying not to just eat shit the whole time. It was a journey, but we got there. And so once we got past the muddy part, you get to the base of the vortex, and the vortex is up on this little like mountain hill thing. Once we got up to the top, we just hung out for a little bit, and I don't know if it was a placebo effect. I felt a little bit like calmer up there. It could have also been the fact that we just got through this whole hike and I was like, oh, we're done with the hike, like thank God, but I don't know. Something about the air up there did feel a little different. Like I said, it could have just all been in my head because I was expecting it to feel different, but who knows? It was definitely a nice view, that's for sure. Sedona is so beautiful. It literally looks fake sometimes. But it's said that a lot of people go to these vortexes to like meditate and pray, and I don't know if all the vortexes are as busy as this one was, but I could not imagine trying to meditate up there. There were so many tourists talking, yelling, like there's just a lot of noise going on, so like I said, maybe some of them aren't as busy, but this one was very busy. The rest of that night we pretty much just went out, got some food, and hung out in the hotel. And then the next day before we decided to go home, we just walked through the kind of like, I think it's called like the Uptown area. Walked, looked at some of the shops, and then on our way out we stopped at this big ass new age store. I think it's literally called like the Center of New Age something. It's this big purple building if you ever go to Sedona. And we stopped there because it was one of my friend's favorite stores, and now after me going there, it is now one of my favorite stores. I love that store. I guess I'm gonna end off this video with like a mini haul of things I bought there. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about, I actually didn't get at that big new age store that I just mentioned. I got it at one of the shops in like the Uptown area. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I know I filmed the sign, so I'll put that in here, but it wasn't really like a shop. It was more of just like a spiritual healing place, and then in like the front of it they had like a very tiny like little section of stuff. But we went up there and looked around anyway, and they had a clearance section, and I saw this, and the second I saw this I was like, bitch, I need to buy that. It is a Yoga Cats Oracle deck. I got it for $15. They said it was in the clearance section because it was opened, but when I opened it, the cards were still in like plastic wrap, so I'm not complaining. I got it for $15. But it's so fucking cute. Like, look at all these little cats. It comes with a little booklet and talks more about the cat, and then it talks about the yoga pose they're doing, and it actually tells you like how to do each pose, and then it gives like a more in-depth description about like whatever the message is behind that card. But I don't know, I just thought this was really fucking cute. Yeah, literally the second I saw that I was like, I'm getting this. I got that from there, and then the next three things are all from that big new age store that I was talking about. So they're all books. The first book that I picked up in this store, I got a little story behind it. So I have been seeing the numbers 111 and 1111 for like, it's going on 2 months now. It's not even just like the time, I'm just seeing it in like random ass places. Like my parents were getting their house painted when I was back home, and the painter's license plate ended in 1111. Like really fucking weird shit like that. And it's to the point where it's just like, it's every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. That was happening when we went on the Sedona trip. I was in the numerology section, and this section, it was a bookcase, ceiling to floor, multiple shelves of books, and I saw this book. It was in between all these other books. I just saw the spine of it, and something about it I just liked. I don't know, the color, the font, like the gold, something about it. I was just like, I'm gonna pick up this book and look at it. Bitch. So the front of it says Angel Numbers, which is the name of the book, and then under it says this little blurb right here. Let me read you what this little blurb says. It says, the message and meaning behind 1111 and other number sequences. I literally picked this book up and read that, and I was like, bitch, I have to fucking buy this book now. Like, I don't have a choice. So I bought it. And also, like, in the book, it's mainly just like a list of like, you know, different numbers and like the meanings behind them. But in the very beginning, there's like a little introduction section, and then there's this own little section literally titled Seeing 1111, and talks about how like this person saw 1111 and like all this stuff. And I'm just like, what is with this number? I mean, like, I know what's with this number. I read it. It's good stuff, but at the same time, it's just like, if you want me to do something, universe, you gotta give me more of a sign, because I don't know what to go off of here. I don't know what you're trying to get me to do here, you know? Yeah, so that was the first book I bought. The other two don't really have stories behind it. I just wanted to get them. So the second one I got was Tarot Bible, because I got into tarot cards recently and I just want to learn more about it. I'm very new to it, so this book literally goes into so much detail about just like literally everything you could think of, like shuffling techniques. It literally has every single card and like what it means, and in the back it has a bunch of stuff about like different spreads and like all this stuff. It's a very helpful book. Highly recommend it if you're new to tarot and want to learn more. And then the last book I got, which this was kind of random too, like this store, the way the store's laid out, there's one half of it that's like just all crystals, and then the other half's kind of like all books. So I was just randomly walking around and I just literally stopped in front of a bookcase and picked up a fucking book. Again, I just liked the way the spine looked. I know they say don't judge books by its covers, but I judge books by their covers. If it looks aesthetically pleasing to me, I'm gonna pick it up. I liked how this one looked. It's called Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell, and it's a guide to answering your soul's calling and working your light, is what it says. And I'm not done reading this yet, but so far I like it. It's pretty much just about how she kind of came into her spirituality and how she became a light worker, she calls it. I don't really know what that means yet because, like I said, I haven't finished it. But so far it's good and I'm definitely interested in it. So that's all I got from Sedona. I wanted to get crystals and stuff. Like, they had a lot of stuff where it was just like the crystal part, it didn't have like a necklace attached, but it had like the top part on it like this where you could attach it to a necklace. But they were really fucking expensive. They were trying to charge like $50 just for like the little crystal part, and I was like, no thanks, I'm good. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. Like I said, this was kind of like a weird mixture of like sit down informational video with like a vlog and a haul, I guess. I don't know. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you really liked it, then subscribe below if you have not already. If you want to keep up with me between uploads, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mitchie. And I will see you guys next week with a new video. Make sure to stay spooky, friends.